Oh, do you hear that?
Dude, I don't hear anything.
You don't hear? Okay, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm trying to record a podcast here, but anytime you're at a red light, I guarantee every now and then you hear the muffler man. You know the guys I'm talking about. We got like 6 in our neighborhood here.
Yeah, we call those guys small dick guys.
Small dick guys, exactly.
Yeah, they're trying to compensate.
It is funny because I've sat at a red light beside them and I've looked on the corner and I've never seen, the most beautiful woman in the world standing there being like, whoa, listen how loud that guy's muffler is. I don't think I've ever heard that. Or, well, seen it because I can't hear it.
That guy will drive by and Meg will be like, yeah, he's got a small dick.
I don't get it. I wonder why do people like loud mufflers?
I don't know. Just for the record, my lease was up and I gave the keys back. And now I'm riding a town bike with a basket.
Well, you don't have a muffler, so you're pretty cool. You know what we should get you?
No, what I was trying to say is I don't have the small dick syndrome.
Oh, yeah. I see.
Jeez, man. I was hoping you'd pick up what I was laying down there.
I'm sorry, I'm not picking that up. This is Davey the Hustle.
Or something of the sorts.
Everybody wants a piece of me. I'm a lonesome man making history. They say we're all just raindrops in a stream.
It drives me crazy, man.
So annoying.
I don't get it. You know what? For your bike, I want you to be cool like those guys. So I'm going to get you a baseball card and we're going to use a clothespin and put it in your spokes.
It's the funniest thing though, because I'm driving through town and people take like triple takes. It's like, is that René on a friggin' Mary Poppins bike? But like I got a little bell, so like, if I know it's let's say you're on the sidewalk and I know it's you and I just want to get your attention, I'll do a little ding ding. I'm waving. Oh my God. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Hey Darryl, take care, bud.
Awesome. You got flowers in that little basket of yours?
Yeah. Oh, the funniest is when I leave the grocery store and I got a
baguette.
I got a celery stalk and I got a baguette and I got a bottle of wine. Just my basket's full of produce and
oh my God, that's hilarious.
Never gets old. I can't help but laugh when I'm riding that bike. Like I'm smiling. It's like 25% embarrassed, but 75% super happy.
That's awesome. Speaking of happy, I want you to start today because I think you have such a great topic. As a business owner myself, it's one of those questions that's always asked whenever I tell a client, you should talk to a financial planner to help you grow your business.
And they're like, why? You know what? We're just another tool in the business owner's toolbox. And like I tell people all the time, I'm here for you. So use me and abuse me.
Yeah.
We're not business consultants. We're not going to attempt to fill those shoes. But what we do bring to the table is helping the client create a solid plan, having a clear path, and just being there. So just kind of picture me as your little angel on your shoulder and the devil, right?
Yeah.
And is like, the devil is the risk for me. Is like, do I take the risk of that leap of, say, hiring a new person or spending more on marketing or real estate? Do I buy or expand? Often our business clients will come to us and say, okay, well, what do you think of this? Or I'm looking at buying, this piece of property to either to move my business or to expand or whatever. Does it make sense? And then I'm put to the task to run numbers to say, okay, well, you know what? What's the amortization on the loan? Can we afford the payment even? And how's that going to affect cash flow? And is that going to create too much stress for what it's worth?
For sure.
Or is the short-term stress going to be something that we're going to be able to reap the benefits long-term? So just having us, like I said, in that toolbox that you can use when the time arises to just not necessarily or not always to steer you right, but sometimes to just be someone to brainstorm with.
Yeah.
Because when you're dealing with, your finances, you're dealing with your business affairs, it's not something you always want to talk to your brother about or your friend or
exactly
whatever. So like I'm the confidant, right? Like I'm the keeper of secrets because
you're like the priest in confession.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, I don't really want you to be sharing your sins with me, but I'm the confidant, right? Where it's like, okay,
yeah,
let's brainstorm with no judgment and with the ability to be, confidential and not have to worry about, the word getting out. If you're looking at buying a business, like how often will I have a client come see me and say, I'm looking at selling my business, but I don't really want people to know, right?
Yeah.
Because if I publicize that, then all of a sudden my employees are freaked out. And then
Yeah,
my
exactly.
employees go looking elsewhere for employment for fear that their new boss will shut her down or will be a dick, right?
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden the client or the business owner doesn't decide to sell and they start losing employees, right? So having someone that you can have confidential conversations with and have that brainstorming session could be very, very valuable.
Yeah, for
And,
sure.
it's difficult to go to say your lawyer because your lawyer is not going to be in the mindset of doing that brainstorming, and
Yeah.
you'll probably be billed, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
And same thing with the accountant is they're going to crunch numbers, but there's more to the decision making than just numbers, right? There's an emotional
Exactly.
factor. You and I talk about stress all the time. Like
Yeah.
being a business owner is stressful. Well, how much more stress are you willing to take on?
Exactly.
So, for example, this is something we see quite regularly where a client will reach out to and say, okay, I have my operating company, I have my holding company, I have X amount of dollars that I've accumulated in investment assets in my holdco, but I'm looking at buying some real estate. I think that this real estate's going to allow me to grow my business because I'm going to have a bigger garage to be able to operate out of.
Gotcha.
Or this garage that I'm looking at buying is also a bit of a warehouse, and I can generate some revenue by renting some storage out to people.
Yeah.
So then we run the numbers together and say, okay, well, how much do you have to borrow? How much do you have down? What's the current interest rate environment? And what do you think the revenue is going to be? And then we can run the numbers to say, okay, well, listen, this is going to outperform your investment and it's a good way to diversify.
Yeah.
Or we're like, you only have to earn 4% in your investment to outperform this. And your investments is being managed by us. So why would you add stress, risk, and headaches, right?
Yeah.
To get very little more in return or even less.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
then having this financial advisor in your back pocket to be your little angel and your little devil will allow you to have these honest conversations to say, what's the next step? Is it worth the risk? Is it
Yeah.
something that I want to proceed with? So we'll provide the tools to help you kind of make those informed decisions so that you're making those financial decisions with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing, and we've brought this up a lot too, is the financial advisor often becomes, a good financial advisor should become your quarterback of your team of advisors so that he
Definitely.
kind of huddles everyone into a conversation to say, okay, well, we're responsible for looking after this client and our job is to help them grow their business. How do we make sure that we're all bringing our A game to the table so that we have the ultimate outcome for the client?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you have an idea of growth for your business, we're not going to be there to say, okay, we're business consultants and we're going to have a plan of attack on how you're going to grow your business over a 5 or 10 or 20-year plan. But you're going to put together the ideas. You're the driving force behind the success of the business, but we're here to make things easier, more efficient, so that you're a well-oiled machine, so that you're well prepared for that growth, so
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can absorb whatever comes your way because you've got people that are working for you that has your back. And often
Gotcha.
the financial planner will be the quarterback of that team to make sure that you are that well-oiled machine so that you can focus on what you do best and just grow the business.
Nice. So, with all that said, how can I grow my business and make sure I'm doing it properly?
Well, that's the thing. It's conversation. It's brainstorming. It's making sure that everyone involved is giving you their 2 cents about what they think and how they think, it's best to proceed. Like what type of corporate structure do you require?
Yeah,
We've brought that up multitude of times. Why? Because it's important,
for
right?
sure.
You have to be mindful of how you're growing, not just, the fact that you want to grow is when to incorporate. Is it ever worth incorporating? When do you set up a holding company to try to protect your assets or maybe just divide what type of assets you have? Maybe
Yeah.
you want to own your real estate personally and have your business assets in the corporation. Maybe you just want your holding company to be your investment assets and your insurance policies and all of that stuff. The average business owner has no clue how any of that stuff works. So if you have a certified financial planner that you trust and that you found that you work really well with, you need to use them and abuse them to make sure that, they bring the most value to the table to help you grow your business.
For sure. I find with my own business, like obviously you've helped me in many avenues, but I find the tax planning is the key. It's
Dude,
huge.
the wealthy get wealthier by paying less taxes. I mean, we have an
Exactly.
obligation to pay our fair share of taxes,
Yeah,
right?
stupid
We
government.
are very, very fortunate in Canada to have a great healthcare system. We've got
Yeah.
the right infrastructure in place. I mean, it's a great place to live. But we also have the obligation as business owners for, the well-being of our business, the people that we employ, And our own livelihood is to be as efficient as possible. And tax efficiency is a huge part of business planning, and it's a huge part of growth and success.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can talk about, the benefits of a certified financial planner in, the business setting. But again, I can't stress enough about just having someone that you can use to brainstorm to make sure that you're having these confidential conversations, and have someone who has the skill set to help you do, the financial planning piece of your business and to help steer you right.
That's amazing. That's the thing with business. When you first start your business, you think it's just you alone for the rest of time. As your business grows, you learn that there's more people that get involved to help you grow your business. I know for me, early on, I would never thought of a certified financial planner to help me grow my business, but it does work, right? And that's the thing. If you think, we've said it millions of times, think outside the box when you're trying to run your business. And sometimes if you are looking and you're looking for that extra dollar, who's the best person to turn to, right? We've had people come to us as marketers and be like, hey, we want to grow our business. How can we do that? And there's times where I'm like, well, you're doing the right marketing strategy, but you have to look outside of this.
Right.
And that's where certified financial planners come in.
This is all I know. I've been doing this for nearly 25 years, and I don't know how many times I was approached by, a friend, a family member who's become a client that you have a great relationship with, and you become that first person that they go to and say, you know what, I'm ready to sell.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
What's my first step, right? Because who else would you ask that if you don't know where to start?
Exactly.
Because succession planning is a big part of, having a successful business and growing your business is having an exit strategy too, right?
Yep.
They come to me first because they don't know where to turn to.
Yep.
You don't go to a headhunter right away and say, I want to sell.
Exactly.
You don't necessarily go directly to your accountant and say, what are the tax consequences? And you don't go to your lawyer and say, let's draft up the documents. I found a buyer. You usually want to have a plan of attack before you execute it,
Yeah.
to make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row. Right? Are you
100%.
selling your business for what it's worth?
Yeah.
Are you selling it for the right reasons? And what you're going to sell it for, is it going to be enough? If you're looking at retiring, is it going to be enough to fund your retirement? Or if you're looking to move on to a different adventure or a different challenge, you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up financially, that you're going to be able to allow yourself to do this financially, and that you're not, running into too many tax hurdles, to make sure that you're not paying more tax than necessary, more legal costs than necessary, more accounting costs than necessary. So, we become that go-to person to say, okay, well, where do we start? How do we make sure that we do this the best way possible? Because I want to look after me, and I want to look after my family, and I want to look after my business. Sometimes the condition is, if I sell this, I want to make sure that my employees are going to be okay. There's been situation, because like up north here in Northern Ontario, it's like a lot of sales will be of condition that the business has to stay in the north, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it employs, say, 30 people. Now, all of a sudden, that feeds 30 families in my community, right? I want to make sure that if I sell that business, that I'm not fucking over 30 families.
Yeah. And even more when you think outside of it, the grocery store that they buy from, the schools that their kids attend, right? You're
Absolutely.
All that. It's a trickle down effect.
Yeah. So, the question of what place does a certified financial planner have in the growth of your business is actually pretty complex, because it becomes a pretty intricate relationship, of trust, of confidence, of being that brainstorming friend and the quarterback of your team of advisors. So I think it's very impactful to develop a relationship of that sort.
Nice. Listen, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk about somebody else that could be part of your team to help grow your business. And it's a little controversial.
Can't wait to hear.
We'll be right back.
If you started your career in the 1970s or 80s, then you remember bell bottoms, big hair, neon colors, and totally tubular tunes. But just like retro dance parties, retirement can be a blast with the right moves.
Find the right steps to secure your future. # call René of St. Cyr & Associates.
So I want to talk, and I mentioned this before the break, it's a little controversial, and we're going to talk about it, is AI.
Yes.
I want to talk about how it can help you grow your business. But I got to put some disclaimers, at the beginning and the end of this, because I think it's not quite there yet. It's not perfect. But does this mean you can go out and fire your marketing manager, your graphic designer, your social media person? Definitely not. Because AI lacks a few major components like creativity, the whole copyright issue, your tone, your voice, inconsistency in quality and messaging, which is huge. And for me, the biggest red flag of all is the loss of human connection, right?
Yeah.
We talk about the humanizing factor all the time. But I do want to touch on it because I get asked about it a lot, especially from do-it-yourselfers. Whether you're that small business who you're one person and you're running this business on your own, you're doing your marketing, you're doing your accounting, you're the customer service rep, you're everything. You're trying to do social media and you're trying to do it great. This is who I'm talking to. This is exactly who AI can benefit right now.
Although AI is very much in its infancy stages, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm no expert. You know way more about AI than I ever will. I'm an advocate that AI could really help business owners run their businesses more efficiently.
100%.
There's this huge fear that it's like going to take away all of the human jobs. Well, there's a couple things, in my opinion, that I want to throw out there is that,
Yeah.
I don't know, man, people don't want to work. First of all,
Yeah. No
So-
kidding. I know
so,
it's so hard to hire
like
people.
in every industry that I work with, there's a shortage of people. So why would people be fearful of artificial intelligence when it's only replacing the workforce that isn't there?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Good point.
But I think it'll be just a means to complement human
That's
implication
exactly.
of the day-to-day operation. So if you use it as a tool, I think it could be very, very powerful. And I don't at all fear that it's going to like replace jobs and that it's going to replace humans altogether. I just think it's a great tool.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I'm going to talk about the marketing aspect of AI today, but it can benefit you in so many different ways and avenues of your business that it's kind of crazy. But let's just get back to the marketing stuff. So the first thing that's huge that I think for, again, the do-it-yourselfer, or you're just a small business, or even if you're just a new social media manager trying to make a name for yourself, is content creation. There are some powerful tools that can generate text, images, videos, and even audio content, to be honest. And it's not great all the time, but it can get you started. So, for example, let's take ChatGPT, which is the biggest one right now. That's what everyone's talking about. Congress in the US has talked about it. The House of Commons here in Canada has talked about it. It's such a hotbed topic of it's going to ruin our lives.
Right.
Well, in the marketing world, it's a text generating tool, right? So you type a command and it tries to write you an answer. It can produce blog posts, social media captions, basically anything you want that can save you time and effort instead of someone else trying to create that. Is it perfect? No, but it can make you sound better. I want to give you an example. So let's say you're a bakery, okay? You take this nice photo of your freshly baked bread and you want to post it on social media, right? As someone who is a baker, you are not someone who writes for a living. You're not someone who does captions for a living. So you're going to write something like, "Our freshly baked bread fills our store with love." Cute. Not bad. Not a bad caption, right? But then in ChatGPT, instead of writing that caption, which is cute, you write social media caption for bakery post. I will post a photo of fresh bread with a cake in the background. Simple. You give it simple instructions and you hit enter. And this is what, and I typed it out just now and I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to read you what it says here. Hold on. So it spits out a little bread emoji and it says, "Rise and shine with our freshly baked bread. Indulge in the sweet moments of life while savoring the warmth of the artisan loaves. Perfect harmony of flavors and aromas at Stella's Bakery. Hashtag bread heaven, hashtag cake delights, hashtag bakery magic."
There you go.
Doesn't that sound so much better?
No kidding.
Right?
I suddenly want a slice of bread.
Exactly. So obviously it's going to be better than yours. So it helps. But here's the thing. Social media, yeah, it still uses hashtag, but keywords are becoming more important to reach your target market. So that's where the pros, like social media managers, marketing managers, come into play. Yes, this is a good caption. It does set the tone for what you want, but it makes it sound like this is a nice, warm, friendly place where you imagine pies on the windowsill, grandma sipping tea. But maybe your bakery is geared towards a younger audience, right? Maybe inside your bakery, it's bright colors and, you got hip music going. So that caption really doesn't capture what your brand is. It doesn't really speak to your brand. It doesn't
Right.
match.
Right.
So that's where things kind of get off the rails, right? And with the keywords, it's giving you some nice wording in there, but maybe your bread and butter, no pun intended, is... maybe it's baguettes, maybe it's croissants, maybe you have the best croissant in town. So you really want to use the word croissant in your marketing or something along the lines that really hints at it.
Or something of the sorts.
Exactly. And that's kind of where you need those other elements of a real human being, right?
That's what I was saying earlier about artificial intelligence being more of a complement to what humans are
Exactly.
doing as opposed to them taking over. right?
Yeah.
That's a great example, by the way.
Thanks.
You really are a marketing genius.
You know what? I typed in ChatGPT, what could I talk about? And this is what it came up with.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
this whole script.
I'm just
Is
reading it off
AI.
ChatGPT right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, you fooled me, man. You fooled me.
I'm going to give you 2 more tips, and they're much similar in the sense that they can help you, but they won't be perfect. So the next is content scheduling. We all do this. Everyone does it. If you're not a social media person, I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to promote my business. What should I post today? Well, I don't know. That's where, again, ChatGPT and there's scheduling content software that's AI generated that can help you, right? You can literally go in ChatGPT, type in, write a 30-day, 60-day, 365-day social media calendar for me and hit enter. And if you put in the prompts, and you got to be creative, you have to put in the prompts properly. So you could write that and they'll give you a calendar, but it's going to be pretty generalized. But if you say I'm a baker, it's going to give you ideas for every day for being a baker. However, this is where, again, it gets slanted a little bit because it may say, post a photo of your workout this morning before going into the bakery, except you don't work out, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I can't use that one, right? There's going to be things in there that just don't align with what you're doing. Like it's going to say, post a photo of your kitchen. However, you spent all the money on the front end of your business and the kitchen is kind of dark and dingy and doesn't look very pretty. So you don't want to post a photo of that. So that's, again, I'm going to go back to the humanizing factor of a human needs to go through this and make sure it's right.
So just so I'm clear,
Yeah.
like with the help of artificial intelligence, the baker can make more dough.
You got it. You got it.
Bad dad joke out of the way.
The last one is trend identification. So we see this all the time. Anytime you're scrolling through social media, you'll see something that, that guy posted about this. This girl posted about the same thing. And it seems like there's a trend going on that you weren't aware of.
It's easy to miss the boat too because shit happens so fast now.
It happens so fast. So with AI, right now, a lot of AI has now become real time, where before it wasn't, right? And it scours all social media, it scours all the internet now, and it's trying to find the best things for you. So when I say trend identification, it's algorithms that can identify trending topics and hashtags in real time.
This whole time I thought you were talking about like what kind of trending fashion and what should I be wearing to work tomorrow. And I'm like, oh.
Well, really what that means is, like, as a small business owner, it helps you stay current and engaging with trending topics, right? Which is a valuable strategy to boost your online presence, and it can really help you connect with a wider audience.
Those are the AI tools that could be really, really valuable.
Well, exactly. If you're trying to get more followers, like I've said a million times, in social media, you have to join the conversation. You have to engage with an audience on social media. If you want people to follow you, you have to tell them they're special. So using AI to find trending topics and then going out and seeking those on social media and jumping in the comments, sharing that content, adding to the conversation, it's simple math to do that helps you grow your business, right? And AI can give you those things.
Mm-hmm.
And also using that trending info to create content. We've done this in the past. The whole Barbie thing, the Barbie poster came out. It was a trending thing. Even we on Taming the Hustle jumped on it. We have on social media, we got our little Barbie posters up there.
Super handsome guys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We make good Ken dolls.
Do you ever have the Ken doll with the car with the big muffler? It's a little Dick Ken.
Oh man. But that's the thing. If you're using trending topics and you're in the mix of what's trending, that's huge. So listen, last thing, I am not a fan of AI yet. And when I say I'm not a fan is I'm still worried people rely too heavily on it. And exactly what you said, it needs to complement what you're doing, not be the source. So like the human connection is still lost. My tips, yes, they can help, but it's not going to grow your business on its own. If you're doing it yourself, it may give you enough time to save money, to save time, so that you can eventually hire that social media manager or that marketing agency. These are tools to help you just grow now. If you're going to take AI and say, this is my marketing strategy for the rest of the time, it's not going to work.
I just concoction an analogy. It's like these cars now that are, semi self-driving because it'll follow the center of the white and yellow line and you're on cruise control and it has the slow down feature when you approach the car.
Yeah,
You got to remember, you're still in the driver's seat.
exactly.
And although it serves as a tool and it's convenient and it helps, it's definitely not the decision maker. You're in the
No,
driver's seat, and it's meant to complement you as a tool as opposed to replacing you.
exactly.
Man, I'm genius.
I know. Hey, listen, I'm going to, oh no, I guess I shouldn't generate an AI commercial. We'll just play a regular ad.
Please.
We'll be right back.
For over 23 years, we've been with you every step of the way, from sipping coffee in the office to chatting over Zoom. No matter where, together we've helped turn your dreams into reality. Continue to live well today while planning to live well tomorrow. # call René of St. Cyr and Associates.
All right. So that wasn't an AI generated ad. We did it. It was all human. It was all human.
It was also awesome, by the way.
It was pretty good. I do like it. Hey, I'm going to get heavy right now. Not because of my weight, although I do
My
need to lose a
first
few.
reaction to that, I will keep the comments to myself. But
Well, I get heavy. I don't have a loud muffler, so that's why I'm
just
really
don't get heavier.
Yeah, don't get heavier.
Don't get any heavier.
Exactly. I want to talk today about cancel culture. And I know this is a topic that's really touchy, really sensitive to talk about. These are my opinions and mine alone. I'm not dragging you into this or down into my dark
You know
dungeon.
way more about this stuff being in the film industry than me, because that's where a lot of that crap happens, right?
Well, exactly. And so I want to talk. This happened to me a few days ago, and it's been really, really bothering me.
That's because you're overly sensitive.
I am a little overly sensitive. The other day I was on set and I was talking with somebody, and they had asked about my writing and, writing for TV and film and stuff like that. And they said, what made you get into writing? What was it? And I paused for a second because I was afraid to answer because of cancel culture. And here's why. When I was a kid, I used to watch The Cosby Show.
Yeah, like everyone else on the planet.
Exactly. And we all know what happened with Bill Cosby and everything that he's done and has been found guilty of in courts. And I'm not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about is when I was a kid, I watched The Cosby Show. I did not want to be a movie writer. I didn't want to write films. I wanted to write TV shows. I wanted to write that family comedy like The Cosby Show.
Yeah, you're the sitcom guy.
Yeah, I love the sitcom. I love the romance. I love all that stuff. And The Cosby Show had all of that put into it.
You have the kind of wit that you could have written like the Seinfeld Show. That's a Darryl sitcom.
Thanks. With The Cosby Show, it's like I wanted to tell this person, oh, I got into writing because of The Cosby Show. And I thought to myself, if I say that, how am I going to be judged right now?
See, and I have no fear of that. I mean, we didn't know what Bill Cosby was doing. We were like 10 years old. Plus, it was a great show.
It was a great show. And that's the thing. I'm like, okay. So I didn't say that. I said, you know what? I used to watch a lot of sitcoms as a kid. Thursday night was the great TV night. And there was lots of good sitcoms on that I'd watch. And I thought, I want to do that. I have that same type of humor. I can write those things. And I did as a kid.
I totally forgot that like Thursday night was the night.
Oh,
It just brought back a ton of memories for me.
But the whole cancel culture thing makes me afraid to tell people that The Cosby Show was the reason I got into writing, because I don't want them to think, because immediately in my brain, I think if I say The Cosby Show, they're going to be like, oh, do you rape people too?
I hope not.
Right. And so that's my fear. But here's the thing. I got even more deep into that later on, because as a writer, and my daughter, who's an actress, I went home and I'm like, you know what? I feel bad that I did that. I want to watch an episode. I do want to watch an episode. So I knew for a fact not long ago, it was on Amazon Prime. And I went to Amazon Prime, I looked for it and it was gone. So then I started to Google it. Where is it streaming? And it is streaming nowhere. No one will pick it up. They're all afraid to pick it up.
Isn't that something?
Now, I understand. They're like, he did a bad thing. We are not going to promote his show. Except now I think of myself as a writer and I think of my daughter as an actor, and the whole cancel culture thing. You know how many actors on that show, that was their greatest performances of all time? They did how many seasons of great, great work that is now buried far under the ground for no one ever to see for the rest of the time.
Because one douchebag, right?
Because of the one guy in the show.
And the writers and the directors and everybody involved.
The camera guys, the grips, the hair, the makeup, the art department, the props department, set deck, everybody that puts craft service, for Christ's sakes, everybody who put their blood, sweat, and tears into this show, it is now buried because of cancel culture, because of one guy. Because if they put it on Amazon or if they put put it on Netflix or whatever the streaming platform, there's going to be a small portion of people who are going to come out and say that can't be on there because he did these bad things.
Yeah, the fear of the repercussions. Yeah.
Now, my thing here with cancel culture, and this is my advice to the world, is we need to, I say this a lot, think outside the box. So think about those people who are involved. This was their work. A lot of these actors didn't go on to other great shows. They, did a few bit parts because now they're typecasted forever. A lot of the crew who were older retired after this show and didn't go on to anything else. And now are not remembered for any of their work. So the big thing for me is, okay, if I'm an actor and I play somebody who raped somebody, you guys don't think I'm a rapist. You know I'm an actor playing a character. I understand that Bill Cosby did these things, but on the screen, he is playing a character of a good human being. That's what he's playing. He's playing the character. That doesn't mean that's who he is in real life. I know actors who play good characters who are not good human beings, and people still love them.
If everyone's watching the show, after what is it, 25 years or whatever,
Yeah.
He'd still be making money with royalties and stuff, and people don't want to support that. I kind of get that, but it's the people that are forgotten, like you say, all the other people that are involved.
Yeah, and there's ways to go about that where you could take these contracts and these residuals and make it. You know what I would love? I would love The Cosby Show, Amazon Prime, Netflix, whoever the hell needs to hear this. I want you to put The Cosby Show back on air. I want your legal department to work, and residuals that Bill Cosby would have got are now going to go to some type of charity that's in the same vein of what he's done and help somebody in need. Let all the other actors and all the other crew members and everybody involved, because it's not just the people who were on the show. You know what? Every time my daughter acts in a show, my mother, her grandmother, tells all her friends and they talk about it. And that is a big thing for them. So my daughter being in a show is a big moment for her grandmother.
Right.
It's not just the people involved in the show that you're hurting. So I want to see those shows. I want them up there. And yes, those Cosby shows, they are some great messages. They made me, and again, this is part of the cancel culture of being afraid to say something, but I'm hiding behind a microphone now. So I feel like it's easier. It made me the dad I am today. I learned to be, yes, my own father taught me to be a dad, but Cliff Huxtable, not Bill Cosby, Cliff Huxtable taught me to be a dad, how to be a great dad. Like right now, I can't show my kids an episode because we can't find it.
Right.
I want to show my kids the episode where Theo says, when I move out, I don't need a good job. I don't need school. And he plays with the Monopoly money. And it's a very funny thing, but it's real life and kids get it. I got it when I was a kid. I remember watching that and be like, he has holding the Monopoly money and he's like, yeah, at the end of the day, I got $300. And Cliff Huxtable, the dad, says, plan to have a girlfriend? And he says, yeah. And he takes the $300.
Yeah.
He's like, right?
Yeah. True. Yeah. It was a great program for sure, with a lesson with every episode.
So that's all I'm asking society. I know it's a fucking big ask, is that think outside the box for a moment. Yes, we all react. Yes, we all want to attack when something bad happens. That's fine. But you need to think about people other than who the person is that you're attacking and see how it affects others.
And The Cosby Show is just one example of many.
And I know people who have been affected by cancel culture and who have been affected in that third party role, who are now struggling mental health wise because of that. And it's like, they didn't do anything wrong, but somehow they're getting punished for somebody else's actions.
Right.
So that's my rant. I don't know if it's a rant, but it's an emotional one for me.
It's something.
It's something of the sorts.
You make a very good point, though. I agree with you.
Oh, before we go, though, cancel culture. Can we just cancel the frickin' muffler guys?
Yeah.
Please. Like, I'm on board for that. I'm on board.
Vote.
Even the third party person who's sitting in his passenger seat who loves the muffler as well, but doesn't own a car with a loud muffler.
He's an accomplice.
He's an accomplice. I'm good to cancel that guy too.
And the guy who installed it.
Oh, he's the worst of all.
That's the kind of cancel culture that should be accepted.
That's like selling the gun to the murderer.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, thanks for joining us today. It's been great as always.
Absolutely. Thank you, Darryl.
Thanks, René. It's been great. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.